I know I'm going to tick off half of the internet with today's video, but I am a firm believer that you should do what you want and what you love with your house. It's been almost 3 years since we left Wisconsin and moved here to Florida, and what a roller coaster it has been. From tearing down walls to remodeling the kitchen and bathrooms, we have literally touched every inch of this house. However, when it comes to the outside of the house, there's one thing that has still bugged me. Last year we tackled the gardens and I'm so happy with that. But when it's come to the brick of this house, I have tried everything. Vinegar, CLR. I even tried chlorine and acid washing the brick recently, and I just am not happy with the way it's turning out. So today, we are lime washing our brick. So I was surprised at how many of you guys guessed correct when I asked in one of my last videos what big project you thought I was going to get done. So many of you guys guessed correct of tackling the brick on the exterior of the house. So that is what we are getting done today. This is what I'm using, the Romabio Lime Wash in the Avario white, that one. So it comes, it's like super thick, and you're supposed to dilute it with water in a like 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm gonna do that. So I've watched a ton of videos on this, and one thing they said you need is one of the attachments to mix this. So luckily Bobby already had one of those. Another girl said definitely wear gloves because you don't really want this on your skin. So we're gonna put some gloves on. And then I did buy a smaller bucket. That way I can do like a 1-to-1 ratio of the mixture and water. Plus then I'm just working in batches and not mixing up a ton all at once. That in there. And then I'll go fill this with water. I figure I'll start with a 1-to-1 and I'll dilute it more if needed. But I'm going to start with just that and then mix it all together. Alright, so my brick, the grout is super deep, so I'm getting a smaller brush to just help with the grout lines.
Are all in vain. Who will pick you up when you've lost everything? Does it all become for granted with a wedding ring?
So I will say there's a huge learning curve to lime washing your brick, which is why I'm starting at this back corner of the house. And there's a lot of choices to make when lime washing your brick. One of those being is after you put this on, after you let it sit for about 30 minutes to dry, you can decide if you want to distress this. You'll see me try that later on. And Bobby and I were both a little like hesitant about the distressing of it, so we ended up not distressing it. But the other thing is, even if you decide not to distress it, deciding if you want more than one coat, like do you want the bricks to kind of show through slightly? There is a lot to play along with this, so I highly recommend researching this a ton before you do it. It definitely is not just like painting your brick. The other thing I noticed is when you first put it on, it's pretty see-through, but give it some time. I did a section, I then let it sit for a while to let it dry so that I could see how it was going to look after being dry and if we were really going to like it. What I loved about this option is you had up to 5 days to be like, okay, I hate this, and you can actually completely power wash it off your house. However, I will say I do think it being here in Florida, that time frame probably would have been cut down a lot just because this dried a lot faster than what I was seeing online from people that did it from like northern states.
I give it all to you for too long.
I just got done with that section and I realized I completely forgot a step. You're supposed to wet the brick first and then do it. That's why I'm starting over here. That way if I make a mistake, it's on the side, back end of the house. So as I move forward, I will wet the gate and make sure, or wet the brick next time.
So there you could see me trying to distress it with the water hose. You can do it with the water hose, a sponge. There's a bunch of different options. Bobby was out there with me trying to get his opinion, and we were both just like, okay, I feel like we're going to think it's just messy rather than looking distressed and everything. So that's when I ended up going back over with it. I did completely forget to water it down. This makes a big difference. So definitely water your brick and then put it on. It just goes on so much smoother. Huge, massive difference. Also, I apologize if I sound a little funky. I thought I was out of the woods, and last week pretty much all the kids got sick. Nothing too crazy, just stuffy nose, sore throat, all those things. And I thought I was good. All the kids have gotten better, and then like 3 days ago, I woke up with all stuffed up, sore throat, all the things that they had. And I was like, dang it. I swear, us moms never get out of the woods when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, if I sound extremely stuffy, that is why. And my throat is still scratchy from it being sore. I was really, really hoping I was out of the woods when it came to getting this sickness going around. Of course, also, it's like during the last couple weeks of school, it's like, come on, we're almost out of school, we're almost good. Had to get one last round of the house being sick. Now, I also am going to tell you guys, because you guys know me, I like to be as realistic as possible and set realistic expectations of different projects. And this is 100% doable. Like, you're going to save so much money doing this yourself instead of hiring it out. This 4-gallon container was like $275, something like that. So it wasn't cheap. However, compared to paying someone to come out and lime wash your house, this literally would save you thousands of dollars. I was looking at prices to have people do this, and for our house in our area, it was about a $10,000 price quote, and that just was not feasible for us at all. So just keep in mind, it is a lot of work. This is sped up 16 times. So yeah, keep that in mind. It definitely would help if you had someone to give you a hand. If you had 2 paintbrushes, obviously it's going to go twice as fast. For me, I did not. Bobby was making sure that the kids were taken care of and everything. So I did this all myself. Plus, if you guys follow me, and especially follow our family vlog channel, Bobby does a lot of work around the house, but there is certain projects that we just know is going to aggravate his knees, and ladders are one of them. So if there's a project that I really want to do, like this one, I don't usually ask him for help because I know this is something that's going to aggravate his knees, and he does so much other things around the house that I'm just not going to ask him to help with something like this. This was definitely, though, more difficult getting around all these different boxes, let me know. So Bobby and I were thinking that we might actually paint all these boxes white to have them blend in more with the house. Obviously, we're gonna have to tape off important areas, but we've got stuff for the whole water house filter, obviously the solar and FPL, like so many different boxes on this side of the house that we're really thinking that might make it blend in just a little bit better.
She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing with me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country.
Also, water and lots of breaks. I did not cut every time I went inside and took a break or went and actually sat in my neighbor's yard next to me. With the way the sun was hitting, there was like perfect shade in her grass on her side of the lot, so I went and sat over there every once in a while. But very good idea to take your breaks and drink your water. This is a workout. I'm expecting this to take 2 full weekends, so this has already been done over 1 weekend, and I then had to end up stopping. You'll see where I stopped, but this is something that there's no way I could get this all done in 1 day or even a couple of days. Between school runs and taking care of the kids, even with Bobby's help, there's certain things he can't do, aka making food for the baby. So this definitely is one of those things that patience is key, but I like showing this and being so realistic and vulnerable about how the process looks, because I know things like this can feel very overwhelming, and often the overwhelming side of it is just the lack of education and that whole like not knowing what exactly to expect. So I want to give you guys as much information of what it was for me as possible. That way, if you are considering this, you don't have so much nerves and overwhelming when it came to this. Now, the other thing I noticed, and I think this is brick specific to us, our grout lines are so deep, that as I went along, I actually found it easier to work with the smaller brush than the larger brush, because after going through all the grout lines and then in onto the brick, there's so little to do on the brick that I got to a point where I pretty much just used the smaller brush. Now, every once in a while I would go back and forth, but yeah, for us in general, now I do think I might have gotten the wrong masonry brush. There are brushes specifically for working with brick, and my store only offered one, and the one I was seeing other people use looked to be a lot more full and thick and larger. And I don't know if it would have made a difference if I had that one, like the Ryobi, I'm saying it wrong. The Limewash company that I was using specifically sells a brush, and I do wonder if I would have bought that brush online, if that brush would have worked better. But I also think part of it is just the type of grout we have. It is very much inset and everything. So the smaller brush, in my opinion, for our house, got to a point where it was working a lot better for me.
Baby, it's now or never. Gotta leave this town, and I know what you're asking for. You say it's out of my reach, but I can't pretend no.
I am usually a pretty clean painter also. You guys know me. I don't often tape off unless depending on the project. My clothes usually stay fairly clean. I will tell you, when it comes to using this stuff, you are not going to stay clean. This, because it is so much more liquid than like a paint consistency, which is nice because it makes it a lot easier to go onto the brick. Yeah, it goes everywhere. Now, bonus to that is I was tarping off the windows for the most part. I actually ended up, once I started going to the smaller brush, I didn't have to do that as much because I had a lot more control over the dripping and stuff like that. But if you keep a rag on you, you can just wipe stuff off right away or get the rag wet and wipe it off right away. It's not like paint where it's going to be a huge headache to clean it up. Now, obviously, if you leave it too dry, it's going to make it much more difficult. But you do, like I said, have that 5-day window to power wash it. So your brick, your sidewalk, you're going to see later that I had a little oopsie. A big oopsie. And the nice thing is I was able to hose it off right away. And I wasn't as concerned about the cement at our house, mainly because I do plan on redoing this path and everything and restaining the cement. So it being a little messy wasn't something that concerned me too much.
When reaching for the dream keeps me alive. 'Cause it's keeping me alive. Lost outside of nowhere. A stormy rain tried to walk.
Bobby did bring me this tarp, so I tried using it. It does help, obviously, getting less on the mulch and everything. I did end up deciding that I didn't really care if it got on the mulch because I could just use the hose and let it kind of drain into it or just move the mulch around. It wasn't the end of the world. And honestly, using this tarp was being a pain in the butt because it's massive. But yeah, I did try with the tarp to make it a little bit easier. In some ways, I just found that it actually made things more difficult. The hardest part, though, was getting around these windows. The windows are so tedious. Any of the corners where I was working with the grout, that was definitely the most tedious part of this entire thing. So keep that in mind. When I was like on a flat surface and could just like go, I was able to go so much faster than when I was working in cornered areas or areas with windows. Now, I do know that's actually pretty normal if you're painting inside or outside, but definitely something to keep in mind. Now, the bonus is you have a lot less brick to work on, so in that situation, it's a little bit faster. Oh, and the wood that you see up on the house, those are where our shutters are. I had Bobby take all the shutters down to make this a lot easier, so he took all those down, and we do plan on redoing the shutters slightly. We're not rebuilding them. I just want to do a different color so it stands up a little bit more, and a couple other accents to the house, which I will speak on more later on in the video because I do want your opinion on some of the options for what we're going to do to this exterior of the house.
For granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now. Let's move closer to a new history, find out what we can be together. Take my hand and we will conquer the world. This is our final chance. 'Cause one day we'll be looking back at this. We were in a big mess together. But we found a way to choose right from wrong. We found the strength to go on together. To go on together. Yeah. To go on together. To go on together.
one is done. I've got about a third of the house done today, which is not too shabby. I just went and got Culver's for dinner because I was not cooking dinner. I got a nice little tan line from working outside all day. But overall, that probably took me about 4 hours of today, 4 or 5 hours, because I was doing other stuff in between. That was not all straight just painting nonstop. I had to stop to take care of the babies, stop to pump. I actually also had to get Bjorn from school and then go to my parents' house. So there was a lot of breaks in there. But just looking at the footage that I recorded, it was about 4 hours of footage. So needless to say, this is way sped up because otherwise you'd be watching me paint for hours. I am definitely going to be sore tonight. So my plan is to take a shower and then probably sit in the hot tub for a little bit tonight and just relax my muscles. However, expect to see this exact outfit tomorrow as well because it's already covered in stuff and I'm not going to put on something new. So this is going to be exactly what I'm wearing tomorrow to paint as well. We are on day 2 of this project. I figured I'd show you guys what it all looks like today now that it's had a whole night to dry, and then also kind of give you an idea of what the overall game plan is. We got all this done and this yesterday. My hope is that I'll be able to get the rest of the front done today, which seems like a lot, except that there's a lot of big things taking up space. So like this, but obviously I don't have to worry about the door. You got the big bay window here, and then the garage door takes up a good section there. But overall plan, you can see Bobby took down all the shutters. We want to color this a little bit darker. So I want to find a gel stain I really like, because my hope is to gel stain that along with all these wood accents so they pop out, and then possibly do that to the door to make it stand out more, especially because once it's all white it's just going to blend. And then to the garage door, and I'd like to do all these eaves in black, especially now that everything else is white. The dirt and stuff that builds up on these are just really standing out. I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to do the underneath and the front or just the front. And the windows, I think I'll leave white. They are brand new windows. I'd hate to paint them and ruin them. Trying to decide, but I might, maybe, once again, we'll see, paint this like accent brick here black so that it pops out. So let me know what you think. Should this be black or do I just leave it white? And then should this all be black or do I just do black on the front and leave the bottom white? Trying to decide. But yeah, hope is to get all the front done. I'd love to get the whole house done today. I'm trying to be realistic, and I know most likely that won't get done. So currently I'm sanitizing the baby bottles inside. Once that's done, I'm gonna come outside and start working on that. It's almost 10 o'clock, so yeah, we'll see how much I can get done before having to get Bjorn from school and get done throughout the day.
I'm not heading for the stars, driving down the boulevard at night. Playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by.
All right, so yes, we have the wood accents on the house. Love the wood accents. I feel like if you're going to paint your house white, having some sort of wood accent is just a great way to give it the house character. So I really want to work with that. So what I'm really trying to decide is, one, this front door. Should I try that faux would look with using gel stain. Oh, this is my mess up here. I was so sad. This is how I felt, the slow motion of this entire bucket dropping. Also, like I said, this stuff isn't cheap. I also had to order it online, so I couldn't just go to the store and replace it. So I did. Luckily, it was all on this tarp. I scooped up as much as I could and put it back into this bucket because I'm like, this was almost an entire bucket, and I had just remade this bucket. Yeah, I was devastated when that dropped. I'm like, oh no. Like I said, though, clean up pretty easy. Use a water hose. It cleaned it up, and we went right back to it. My bucket was a little sad at this point. For the rest of this project, I do have a crooked, janky bucket. But it still works. It's still holding the stuff. Luckily, I was able to pick up a lot of this product because my big thing was, I'm like, I'm going to be so mad if this dropped, and now I have to order more only because this dropped. Like, that idea of it would have been enough if it didn't drop, but because it did drop, now I have to order more. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still working on this project, but I think I have enough to get me to the end of it. But that was the one thing going through my mind. I'm like, oh, I can't just go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy this. It has to be ordered online and shipped, and that takes a couple of days. So yeah, luckily I was able to salvage a good amount of this. The other thing I learned, so the girl that said wear gloves, the biggest reason to wear gloves is this stuff really dries out your skin. So it's not like it's gonna burn your skin or anything. At least for me, it didn't. I guess I shouldn't say it won't. Everyone's skin's a little bit different. The biggest thing I noticed is it is very drying. There were some times that I forgot to put my gloves on and I was just like, whatever. And I washed my hands. But I was making sure that at the end of the day, I was using a really good, like, extra emollient night cream or something on my hands to really help with any of the cracking and drying. And that seemed to work fine as long as you washed your hands, put on some lotion, and didn't just really let it sit. Other cool thing I learned about Limewash is it's a natural bug repellent. So that's really cool, especially living here in the South. One thing we are always dealing with is bugs. So kind of cool that you can paint this on your house, and it's going to be something that naturally deters the different bugs in your area. Obviously, we spray for bugs. I think Bobby does it every 3 to 6 months, something like that. He's got the schedule. He handles the bug prevention. But this is another product that by putting it on your house, it will help keep the bugs away.
I'm in space, I don't know where I am. It's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste it.
So let me know in the comments, are you watching this video because you are contemplating whitewashing or lime washing your house? Or are you like me and you watch videos like this just because you really enjoy the before and afters? I am someone that I do both. Like, I will watch projects just because I think it's really fun to see people's different, like, ideas and stuff, as well as when I am looking at projects. I am the, like, YouTube queen when it comes to looking stuff up on YouTube before I do it. I am also someone that before I do anything, I have to research it literally for days, and I will watch hours and hours of research on it. Before we got certain animals, I've always researched it a ton. And before I do any type of project, even as little as putting in the fireplace in our family room, I watch so many videos to get design ideas, to get tips and tricks of what makes these things easier. And that's also why I am trying to, like, talk you guys through as much as possible of what I am doing, because in the videos that I personally watch, I got, like, 1 or 2 tips from this person, 1 or 2 tips from that person, and I would love for you to be able to watch this video and get as many of those tips as possible. So hopefully this is helping if you are considering doing a lime wash on your house. So when it comes to spraying the lime wash on, I watch videos where people use the sprayer and I watch videos where people didn't. One thing I saw is the type of paint sprayer you have can make a difference. So like if you have an airless sprayer, like that's not a good one or that is a good one. One of the two. We have just a pretty basic sprayer, not like a super expensive industrial style one. And I also just didn't want to ruin it. Everyone says like you want to replace the filter right away after doing it. You need to make sure it's thoroughly clean. Like if you forget the product in it, you have destroyed your paint sprayer. And then on top of that, because when you use a paint sprayer, you want to make sure that the product that you're using is like strained and very smooth, so it sprays well, doesn't clog up and everything like that. And for a lot of people, they were saying that spraying it on honestly was taking just as long as brushing it on because of constantly having to unclog the machine, fix things like that. So if you want to try the sprayer, for all means, go ahead and give it a try. I did not try it, but I definitely would look into different videos of people that use the sprayer so you can get as educated on that process as possible. I also kind of like this because I noticed so many areas like around our windows and our garage that need to be recaulked. And it is so much easier when it is white on white. Like you see those black lines of things that have to be recaulked so much easier when it is white on white compared to white on the red. So one of the projects I'm going to have to do with this exterior makeover is go around and recaulk any areas that need it. There's also some areas in the brick that's going to need some repairs that I caught from doing this. Now, like I said, we do take breaks. This is not the only thing I was doing this whole time. So Freya and I actually had a little play date with one of her friends and went to the Daytona splash pad for a couple hours. And as you can see, she had a blast.
Before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like
All right, so I do want to give you guys this moment. If you have any questions about this process or anything when it comes to this, leave me a comment down below. Like I said, I'm trying to hit as many points as possible in today's video, especially since I know there was a lot of questions that I was trying to get answered before I made the decision if I was going to do this or not. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I will try to respond to as many as possible. I will say sometimes I don't respond via comment. Sometimes I will respond in the next video. This is definitely going to be a at least 2-part video of getting this exterior done because there's so much that has to be done that I will be doing even more in future videos, that I will answer questions, especially if they're questions that are asked multiple times. But I want to give you guys this time. That way, if you have questions, I can try to answer as many as possible for you guys.
I'm in love, you're divine, and it's all in our signs. We're going away, get your bag, check the tag, decision is made, lock your door, need no more, it's already paid, cancel your bill for a while, it's a journey.
You can see in this shot that the previous owners or first owner, I don't know, whoever put up the white shutters, if you've been here long enough, the house used to have white plastic shutters on them. You can see here that they sprayed those shutters white while they were still on the house. So another bonus about getting this done is covering up all that overspray and everything. Also, if it is your first time here, I did try a lot to get this brick looking nicer. And on camera, it doesn't show the same as in person. I always complain about the camera. It hides so much. In some ways, that can be very, very good. But on channels like mine, where I'm trying to show you like the real life scenarios and stuff, sometimes it is kind of frustrating. But we live not far from the beach. If you have ever been to the Daytona Beach area, you know that to get to the beach, you actually have to go over a bridge, and we call that beachside. It's just a like peninsula or island that actually has the beach and obviously some houses and stuff like that. So we are on the mainland side, but we are right next to the inlet. So across the street, our neighbors literally are on the water, and then you have the island to the ocean. All that to be said, with being so close, our air is very, very salty, which is great. We love it. It's actually one of the reasons why Bjorn, my youngest son, health is so much better here in Florida. And part of the reason we moved to Florida is the very humid, salty air is great for his skin, is great for his asthma, which, by the way, we have been here for nearly 3 years. And I can say since moving down here, now I'm not going to say this is for every person in the world that deals with asthma, but this kid has only needed to use his inhaler when we first moved down here, and we were doing a lot of remodeling on the house. Drywall dust and asthmatics don't mix. I was not very aware of this, and I felt horrible as a mother, but it doesn't mix. It was very bad for his lungs, for him to be around all the construction and everything. And considering the kids like helped us demolish walls and stuff, they had so much fun, by the way. So he did have to use his inhaler and nebulizer then, but since then he has only used his inhaler once since moving down here. And I have to say, as a mom, that makes me feel so good. And for his skin has never looked better. He, ever since he was a baby, had horrible eczema, to the point where I would take him to things like Kids in Motion, which was indoor play areas for kids, and I would have mothers taking their kids away from him, and it broke my heart because I'm like, it's not contagious, there's nothing wrong with him, he's got this skin condition, but there's like nothing wrong with him. He's not going to get your kids sick. But since being down here, all of those things are so much better. It's one of the few decisions I have made in my life that I am 100% confident in, and mainly just because seeing our children thriving down here makes me so happy. And it's funny because I am someone that is actually, I don't know if I'm allergic to the sun or what it is, but doing projects like this, working outside in the sun for long periods of time, I have to be very careful because I will literally break out in hives. Don't ask me why. My family has the weirdest allergies. I have a grandmother and a nephew that are allergic to the cold. I know, it's crazy. They're allergic to the cold. I'm allergic to the sun. I don't know where it comes from. I'm not a doctor, but I will take that if I know my kids are happy and healthier down here.
We're all like kicking it high, kicking it low, making noise like a big truck show. Raising hell is the way to go. Yeah, we're kicking it fast, kicking it slow, bouncing around like a rodeo. Bad girls wanna rock and roll. Yeah, we're kicking it. Everything's alright.
more painting to do. Don't let social media fool you in thinking that this is just a quick and easy project. It is not. But I am loving the way it looks. I do feel like, though, it's definitely a trust the process, because right now the house just looks really bare because the shutters aren't on. It looks funny. But I think once everything's done and pulled together, it's going to look really, really nice. Oh, but yeah, same outfit because I'm not going to destroy another outfit. Hoping to get the rest of the, at least front of the house, done today. We do have family dinner tonight though, so I don't have a ton of time to work on this. It rained this morning too, so it's like almost noon. But I've been waiting for the rain to stop. Luckily, the brick has to be damp anyway, so doing this after it rains is not really a big deal. So yeah, back at it.
Raising hell is the way to go. Yeah, we're kicking it fast, kicking it slow, bouncing around like a rodeo. Bad girls wanna rock and roll. Yeah, we're kicking it. We're kicking it.
So at this point, my goal is to get the lime washing done before this coming Sunday. Obviously, you guys are seeing this video on Friday, so I have a couple more days to go, but Sundays are our Sunday dinners, and we rotate from houses. So last week it was at my parents' house, the week prior it was at my aunt and uncle's house, and this week it is at our house. So my goal is to have this lime washing, not the whole outside of the house project done. That's not going to happen. But to have the lime wash done before people come over on Sunday. I definitely could have had it done sooner, but I don't know if you guys have been watching my new Helping Hand series. If you haven't, definitely go check that out. I have posted 2 videos now, and I just got done filming another video at her house that should be going live either Sunday or Tuesday. It's kind of going to depend on how quickly I can get it edited and everything. Needless to say, between the Helping Hand series and then this outdoor project and everything else, it's been a little crazy, which is why I always tell you guys, you will always have a video from me on Tuesdays and Fridays, unless I am like dying and literally can't give you guys a video. I always try to come for you guys at least on those 2 days. And then bonus videos on Sundays when I have time. So you'll either have that video Sunday or Tuesday, but I am so happy with the way that is turning out. But that is another reason why this project does take a little bit longer for me to get done. I had previous engagements set up. Plus, it was good for me to take a break. I have to say, after days and days of doing this, and I am now 34 years old, I don't move like when I was in my 20s. So you got to give your body a break. I did end up having to go to the chiropractor after this and getting an adjustment. The funny thing was, I wasn't planning on going to the chiropractor because I was like, I want to get this done, and I was going and doing my Helping Hand series video. So I was going to cancel my chiropractor appointment. I told Bobby that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to cancel it for today. I feel fine. It's not that big of a deal. I'll go sit in the massage chair. No big deal. So I'm going to cancel it for tomorrow. Luckily, I did not, because literally I woke up that day and could barely turn my neck. Now, I don't think that had anything to do with this project. I think I just slept wrong. But the universe had told me that, no, girl, you need to go to the chiropractor and take care of yourself. You cannot take care of everyone else. Sit down, take a minute, and do some self-care for yourself. And I feel like sometimes as moms and women, we think of self-care as like doing our hair, doing our makeup, things like that. But I have definitely learned there's so much more to self-care. It is physically making sure that you're taking care of yourself in a health way. It is mentally making sure you are taking care of yourself, because the mental struggles sometimes of being a mom and women, the way our brains work, I feel like, not that men don't have the same mental struggles, but the way our brains work, that everything seems to fall on our shoulders, and it's not even because it is. Like, my husband's amazing. He helps me with so many things. But we are wired that we get stressed out super easy because we feel like everything is on our backs. So when it comes to self-care, definitely know you should be taking care of yourself and making sure that not just your family's taken care of, but you are taken care of as well.
Hey, don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy. I'm not gonna wake up. No, no, not yet. Whoa, no, not yet. Whoa, no, no, not yet. Whoa, I'm afraid I'll end up nowhere. They keep saying I'll be fine, but how you know that I'll be there? When it feels like I'm lying every time someone asks how it goes, and I save the details that actually mean something. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around, and then I remember all things must pass. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up.
It is another day. I am not in the same clothes though. There is that. However, we are taking a break from this project because I actually have to go and film my Helping Hands series today. And I also think it'll be good just to have a break from the house. So I'll show you where we are at now. I will say, like a lot of my projects, this is kind of a trust the process type thing. Like, I don't think it looks great right now, but I have learned from other projects that often you just have to keep going forward with your vision because it does come together. You just have to give yourself grace. As you can see, this is what we've gotten done so far. I stopped like right there on the garage yesterday. So I have to finish lime washing. I want to add the black accents, redo the shutters and all the wood on the house. But I am very happy with the way it looks so far. I think though, once the wood gets added back and the black and everything, it'll really start coming together. One thing Bobby and I love is the plants that are in here now just pop off the house so much more. But yeah, more to do. So if you want to see how this project ends, make sure if you're new here to subscribe and hit that notification bell. But also if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and share this video with a friend. It really helps out my channel. But I'm gonna go get ready to go help out another mama that needs some help, and I'll see you next time. Bye.